Just ahead on CTV News.
Tonight on CTV News, I will introduce you to the new leaders of the County Council. I'm Katara Jones. I'll have more from our sit-down conversation coming up on CTV News.
From the classroom into the skies, I'm Noel James, and just ahead, I'll take you inside this exciting program that lets young kite makers let their imaginations take flight.
And Simon Buggs has our Thursday sports page. Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for March 27th. I'm Mariah Jalad. Thanks for joining us. The County Council elected its new chair and vice chair this week. CTV's Katara Jones sat down with the two leaders who shared their goals for the county.
We're committed to pulling the council together and operating differently.
Just this week, the changing of the gavel occurred on the County Council, and ascending to the seat of chair is Edward Burrows. He replaces former chair Jolene Ivy. Burrows, who's been on the council since 2022, also served on the County Board of Education. The council's newest vice chair is Crystal Oriatha. She, along with Burrows, say they want to focus on unifying the council and move away from division and mistrust within the body.
I think you can see it on the first day. The leadership of all the committees are diverse when it comes to representation of ideas and the idea of who caucuses with who. Like, we're stripping that away and really focusing on making sure everyone has an equal voice.
One of the biggest issues the council is focused on is the proposed county budget, which is facing a multi-million-dollar deficit. The pair both agree that the county needs to bring in more revenue, but they are also committed in not increasing taxes on residents.
And so when we look at our neighboring jurisdictions, DC with over $20 billion, we look at MoCo with over $7 billion, the difference is interesting. And so we are really focused on bringing industry and entertainment into Prince George's County.
Burrows has his eyes set on potentially bringing data centers to the county.
We're very conscious and sensitive to where these data centers are placed, right? We want to make sure that we do it in partnership with the community. We're not trying to impose anything on the community. But the reality is, our residents don't want us to increase property taxes, and we don't want to increase property taxes, but we must generate hundreds of millions of dollars of additional revenue very quickly.
With the new roles as chair and vice chair, Burrows and Oriatha are looking forward to working closely with the new county executive and the school board. Katara Jones, CTV News.
Thanks, Katara. And the County Council must pass its budget by June 1st. It will then go into effect on July 1st. And budget negotiations continue in Annapolis, but not without a fair share of heated exchanges.
This institution is not for everybody. Just to light her house.
Madam Speaker.
I'm trying to help.
Thank you for recognizing me, Madam Speaker. The 2 minutes for the young lady are over.
I can count.
But you must sit down. You no longer have the floor.
The one last thing I will say, and I was not trying to be controversial.
Recognizing the parliament.
Thank you, Madam
Is
Speaker.
that
People
this
are allotted 2
institution
minutes to
still needs
explain
to
their
be
vote.
for the
I
people.
can talk louder than you. Do you want to do that?
The House did pass its version of the budget on Wednesday, a $67 billion package for 2026. And to close the multi-billion-dollar deficit, the budget has $2 billion in cuts to programs, including cutting $46 million from Governor Moore's Enough Act, which fights child poverty. Those cuts help restore funding to the Developmental Disabilities Administration and allow for a $200 million salary increase for state employees. The bill with those cuts passed along party lines, except for Democrat delegate Sample Hughes, who said the budget didn't represent her constituents on the Eastern Shore.
I feel like I don't have a place in this place anymore. I don't. And it's for some of these very reasons in this budget.
The second piece of the budget is the bill meant to bring in over $1 billion in new revenues, aka new taxes. That's been contentious for Republicans in the chamber.
We do not have a revenue problem in this state. We have a spending problem. This budget is wrong, fiscally irresponsible.
We're the only state in our damn region
that has a multi-billion-dollar budget deficit and needs to raise billions of dollars in taxes to do the same stuff that they can do in Richmond.
That bill also passed, including 2 new tax brackets for people making more than $500,000 a year, a 3% tax on IT services, and an increase on the cannabis sales tax. But passing the taxes wasn't easy, even for Democrats.
Today, I'm going to vote a green vote on this budget, and it's going to be hard, but I'm going to avoid an intolerable red vote, and I urge you all to do the same.
Now, this is just the first step in the process. The Senate now has to pass its own version of the budget. Then both chambers have to come together and negotiate all their differences. They're hoping to reach an agreement and pass the final budget by the end of next week and get it on the governor's desk by April 7th, which is the last day of session. But the governor could send the budget back, which would bring lawmakers back to Annapolis for a special session. And a major education bill is moving forward in the state's capital. The Senate Budget and Taxation Committee voted 9-4 to advance a revised version of the blueprint for Maryland's future. The plan includes parts of Governor Moore's education package and would expand instructional coaches in low-performing schools. But the House and Senate remain divided on key details, including funding and teacher planning time. A Senate floor debate is set for Friday, and a conference committee could follow, with just days left before the session ends on April 7. And a federal judge in Maryland is briefly extending a temporary pause on the Trump administration to fire probationary workers at federal agencies as part of a massive government downsizing. Judge James Breeder says he's reluctant to issue a sweeping national ruling, but could if states prove it's essential. 19 states and D.C. sued, arguing the layoffs violated federal rules and blindsided their budgets. The administration is appealing to the Fourth Circuit and possibly the Supreme Court. And a massive shakeup at the nation's top health agency. HHS announces a sweeping overhaul to, quote, make America healthy again. The Department of Health and Human Services will cut 10,000 jobs and shrink from 28 divisions to 15. Officials say the move will save taxpayers $1.8 billion a year. HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. says the goal is a leaner, more effective department without cutting Medicare or Medicaid. And meantime, recently fired federal workers could find a landing spot within the Maryland education system. Maryland's Feds to Eds program is designed to encourage former federal workers to become teachers and creates pathways to speed up the licensing process. The State Board of Education is working to leverage the former federal workers' job and life experiences without making them start the process of becoming an educator from the beginning. And in response to attempts by the Trump administration to deter lawyers from challenging administration orders, Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown is urging legal professionals to keep fighting. Brown, along with 20 other attorneys general, issued an open letter to the legal community claiming the attempts by the Trump administration are illegal. Last week, President Trump issued a memorandum threatening all law firms and lawyers that engage in litigation against the federal government. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Mariah Jalad. Coming up, the Prince George's Stadium is getting a makeover. After the break, find out some of the improvements coming and which Orioles legend was in the building. Don't move.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that the big homie needs help too. You can't just rebound from everything. I know you've been grinding.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. I wonder why we waited so long. I'm not wondering anymore. Love, your mind. Let's see how far we can go.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. They're skilled experts, discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org.
Welcome back. A stunning scheme inside a Maryland state senator's office. A former aide to Senator William Smith Jr. has pleaded guilty to stealing $20,000 in scholarship funds. Prosecutors say Esther DeConge fraudulently awarded herself a senatorial scholarship, even sending fake emails after she left the job to keep the money flowing. She accessed the senator's account multiple times, posing as other staffers to fool state officials. The state prosecutor calls it an unacceptable abuse of public funds. DeConge will be sentenced on July 16th. And the University of Maryland is discussing details of a federal inquiry focused on their Chinese students and faculty members. The university's president said Wednesday that the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party sent him a letter asking him to provide details on the students and members' involvement in federally funded research. The letter was sent to 5 other universities as well, saying how they, quote, have become too financially dependent on international student enrollment. Now, the president is working on a response at this time while staying in accordance with federal privacy laws. And a growing threat of illegal cell phone use by prison inmates has prompted 31 attorneys general, including Maryland's Anthony Brown, to create a coalition pushing for cell phone jamming technology to be installed in prisons. Currently, states are not allowed to use cell phone jamming technology for any reason, making it difficult for states to fight against inmates using contraband phones to orchestrate crimes behind bars. Neighboring Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia have joined the coalition as well. And Prince George's Stadium in Bowie is getting a facelift. Today, county and state officials joined personnel from the Chesapeake Bay Sox and Baltimore Orioles in a groundbreaking ceremony. Orioles legend Cal Ripken was also in attendance to celebrate the future of economic, athletic, and community growth in Prince George's County.
Today's groundbreaking is not just about renovations to the visitors clubhouse or an all-new home team clubhouse, a new performance center, or new digital boards. It's about community and reaffirming our commitment to Prince George's County.
It's an amazing opportunity for this investment by the state through the Maryland Stadium Authority to ensure that this historic and beloved ballpark continues to serve and entertain our community while simultaneously creating economic development opportunities and elevating Maryland as a sports tourism destination for many, many years to come.
Some of the stadium improvements include a new big screen and renovations to the home and visitors clubhouses. And this spring, local classrooms are getting a special treat through the Kites in the Classroom program. CTV's Noel James has more.
Class is in session. The National Cherry Blossom Festival is more than just an event. It is a hands-on experience. And with the Kites in the Classroom program, students are learning to connect creativity, science, and community.
We need center line of this paper.
At Cool Springs Elementary, distinguished kite master Mikio Toki from Japan guides 3rd to 5th grade students in the art of kite making. Knowledge that Toki has perfected over decades of experience is now in the hands of the next kite masters. For these young kite makers,
it was a good experience because we get to like draw. We get to like draw our own things It was good. I learned a lot of stuff.
They're ready to show off their work at the Blossom Kite Festival this Saturday.
For me, it's gonna be a first-time experience, and I've been more willing to go because of this experience.
With his designs inspiring creativity, even I pulled up a chair to learn from the master. Toki says he wants to preserve the history of the kites.
Kite is a culture in Japan. I wanted to keep this one fly kite and how to make kite to next generation.
The interactive program is a partnership with the National Cherry Blossom Festival. Kristen Bassensuk, Marketing and Communications Manager at the festival, says the impact is timeless.
The kids are learning about not only Japanese culture, but also understanding the National Cherry Blossom Festival and the history behind it. So they're really inspired.
So as the kites soar high, so does the students' understanding of culture, science, and creativity, making this program a truly unforgettable experience. I'm Noel James in Adelphi for CTV News.
And still to come on CTV News, the Annapolis Film Festival is kicking off this weekend. After the break, find out this year's theme and what local film buffs can expect. Back in a moment.
Which is right here, this island.
Vision loss is not something that you feel until it happens.
Most people lose their vision from diseases like macular degeneration and glaucoma, not at birth.
With macular degeneration, you lose your central vision.
You have a blind spot right in the center of your face, so I can't actually see your face.
So even that little circle in which I could see became a big blur.
I was 65 when I first was diagnosed with glaucoma.
There were no symptoms. I had no headaches.
3 million Americans have glaucoma, and half don't even know it.
11 million people in the United States have macular degeneration.
You lose mobility, independence, changes your entire life.
So many eye disorders can be treated if caught early.
My husband tells me that I have beautiful brown eyes, and I don't want to lose that.
Make a plan today to get your eyes checked.
Visit brightfocus.org to learn more.
Diversity is in our nature. It is in nature, too. Biodiversity. It connects us and sustains us. But nature's biodiversity is at risk more than ever before, and the future of all life is in our hands. So what will you do? Love it or lose it?
It is so hot out today, but I'm about to get this hike in, and I just had to show you the view. Beautiful.
Yo, you should come out here. We came outside to unwind.
Oh, wow.
What's the laptop? Transmission.
We outside, come find us.
Well, the Maryland State Board of Education has voted to change the way math is taught in the state. Under the new plan, math curricula in the state's 24 public school systems would be built so that what kindergartners learn aligns with the math that's taught in high school. Interventions will be introduced as early as second grade if it's evident that students are struggling. Now, the plan requires school districts to develop a process to identify students who struggle with math starting in the 2026-2027 school year. And the county school district is giving back to its educators with scholarships to Walden University. A part of the PGCPS Superintendent Employee Scholarship Program, 2 full tuition and 3 partial tuition scholarships were offered to 5 teachers in the county. The recipients include Mr. Drake from Francis Scott Key, Miss Archer from Fort Foote, Miss Fleming from Glendale, Miss Ramacon from CMIT North, and Mr. Lancaster from Judith P. Hoyer Montessori. The program is back after a 4-year hiatus and has awarded more than $100,000 this year. And a new consumer alert for those that may have tried to trace their genealogy. 23andMe's Chapter 11 bankruptcy has raised concerns about how consumers' genetic information will be processed. Attorney General Anthony Brown issued a consumer alert concerning the recent bankruptcy filing. It could result in the transfer or sale of the genetic information held by the company. Now, Brown reminds Marylanders that genetic information is highly sensitive and suggests that they consider permanently deleting their accounts. And the red carpet's out, the lights are up, and Annapolis is rolling. The 2025 Annapolis Film Festival opens tonight, launching 4 days of cinema under this year's theme, A New World. More than 70 films, major talent, and fresh voices take center stage. And the festival opens with focus features The Ballad of Wallace Island, starring Carey Mulligan. And the buzz continues long after the final credits.
I hope they take away the fact that movies are magic, and they always have been. It's what keeps us up, it's what pushes us forward, it's what makes us laugh, makes us cry, and makes us feel human. And when everything else is going on in the world, we still have movies.
Opening night's really special this year. It's The Ballad of Wallace Island, and it was a favorite at Sundance. It's heartwarming, it's quirky, takes place on a small island off the coast of Wales. It stars Carey Mulligan. And the story is a guy wins the lottery, and with his winnings, he wants to put back together his favorite band from his youth and invites them to do a concert on the island. So it's a good kickoff.
A lot of them, if you stick with them, they're going to take you someplace. We have a few documentaries that kind of whack you around a little bit. There's a film called The Secret of Me, which is a secret. I can't tell you what it is.
And the festival runs through Sunday with screenings, filmmaker Q&As, and panels throughout downtown Annapolis. You can get more details at AnnapolisFilmFestival.com. Pass the popcorn, Annapolis, the spotlight's on you. And now Simon Buggs is here with our Thursday sports page.
What's going on, CTV Sports family? Coming up on your Thursday sports page, Terps defensive coordinator Ted Monachino speaks on what made him want to come to College Park. That story and more in a bit. Stay tuned.
The drug scene in Maryland is changing. Fentanyl and xylazine are being added to street drugs, and you may not even know it. Xylazine is not even intended for humans, and fentanyl is an opioid 50 times stronger than heroin and contributed to over 80% of overdose deaths in our state. Anyone who uses drugs, even occasionally, is at risk of overdose. To learn more, visit stopoverdose.maryland.gov or call or text 988.
More than 6 million kids in the U.S. have ADHD. Many aren't getting the support they need. At understood.org, we can help. Sometimes in class, the only thing your child can focus on are the thoughts racing through their head.
Why can't I just pay attention? Why am I always falling behind? Why do I feel so alone? So different.
Your child is looking to you for answers, to help them make sense of it all. But as a parent, you probably have a lot of questions too. What should I do next? Where do I even start? At understood.org, we provide parents with the resources they need to help kids with ADHD thrive. Your child wants to thrive. Be the reason they do.
Okay, everybody, go ahead and grab a seat because your Thursday sports page is finally here. Now it's a new era in College Park as the UMD football team has hired multiple new coordinators to take this team to the next level. And one hiring that made headlines is Ted Monachino to become the team's next defensive coordinator. Monachino has coached for over 30 years and at all levels of football, including in the NFL for over a decade. And the 58-year-old told me what made UMD want to be his next coaching stop.
I'm at the point in my career where all I want to do is help good people win. And I talked with Coach Loxley about that month ago or so, and there was some things that he was hoping that he could do with the staff. We really didn't know what it was, but I knew that Coach was a guy that I wanted to work with, and I knew what his mission was moving forward and being able to elevate all areas of our program. And the role has been a little bit undefined for a while. I've been here, like I said, for a few weeks, but the staff has been really collaborative, and we've been working on putting together the best defense we can for the University of Maryland.
Montechino and the rest of the team began spring practice earlier this week and will culminate with the annual Red versus White spring game on April 26 at SECU Stadium. Meanwhile, the Terps men's basketball squad will return to action tonight. Maryland will try to move on to the next round of the March Madness tournament when they take the court against Florida in the Sweet 16. Tip-off is at 7:39. Moving on to the world of high school sports, there will be some tennis action this afternoon as Laurel will host Flowers, Bladensburg will be on the road taking on Duval, Crosstown will take the court against Potomac, and finally, Bowie will match up against Wise. All matches begin at 5:30. Switching gears to the NHL, the Washington Capitals have locked up one of their players long-term as the team has re-signed defenseman Jacob Chychrun. For the Caps this season, the 26-year-old has recorded 43 points, which is a career high in 65 games. This is also the second straight season he eclipsed the 40-point mark. The Florida native also ranks first among NHL defensemen in game-winning goals with 6 and is tied for second in power play goals with 5. He and the rest of the team will take the ice next versus the Minnesota Wild tonight at 7:30. And wrapping up sports, the day is finally here, Nationals fans. The team took the diamond not too long ago for their opening day matchup against the Philadelphia Phillies. The game began at 4:05. Man, am I glad that Major League Baseball is back. And that is your Thursday sports page. Back to you at the desk, Mariah.
Thanks, Simon. Now let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight will be mostly clear. Tomorrow it's going to be 68 degrees, but get your rain boots out. We have a weekend of rain ahead of us. Saturday, it's going to be mostly cloudy with a high of 80. Rain isn't expected until 2 a.m. Sunday, the rain is expected to start around 8 a.m. and it'll be 75 degrees. And for our community calendar, this Saturday, the Maryland National Capital Park Police is hosting a clothing swap. This event is a free way to spruce up your wardrobe, all while decluttering your closet for spring. The clothing swap takes place from 1 to 3 at the Westphalia Community Center. For more information, contact the email on your screen. And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
Hello, I'm Sandra F. Peaches, Executive Director of Prince George's Community Television. I'm reaching out today with an urgent message. CTV needs your help. The county's current proposed budget is about to silence your voice. The proposed budget presented to the County Council calls for the closing of PGCTV in the upcoming fiscal year. For more than 40 years, Prince George's Community Television has been your independent voice in the community, providing essential news related to county events, the people, and services. Most importantly, our volunteer public access producers create hundreds of hours of programming each year. The programming that tells the stories of people in Prince George's County. We connect residents to critical information, provide a voice for underrepresented communities, and help to foster a deeper sense of connection within the diverse communities residing in our county and state. We're known as a hub for career development, having provided invaluable internships and volunteer opportunities for hundreds of young people, helping them build futures in broadcasting and film. Our success stories are both in front of and behind the lens at every local network in the DMV and countless others throughout the United States. If we lose Prince George's Community Television, we not only lose a place for hands-on learning, but also the voice and connection that helps our community be informed and united. This is your station. Do not let your voice be silenced. Please contact the Prince George's County Council. Ask that PGCTV, the voice of the county, be saved and fully funded. Together, we can make a difference.